We are going to look at Oklahoma Digital Prairie, which gives us a lot of different library resources or search engines. And this is going to help us find information that is credible. Now, first of all, we are going to look at a specific search engine that is powered by EBSCOhost. So in order to get to it, you can go ahead and click on EBSCOhost, or the direct link for Searchasaurus is going to already be saved on your iPads. As you can see, I didn't have to log in because I am currently on a school's property. So you should also not have to log in if you are at Central. But if you're going to access this at home, you may have to log in or you may not be able to. First of all, we want to look at some of the features that are available on Searchasaurus. As you can see, there's lots of pictures. So this can help young readers who may not do well with spelling and reading and things like that. First of all, we are currently on the home page, and this is mostly where we're going to focus on our searching today. However, there is a dictionary built in where students can look up definitions. There is an encyclopedia, and students can strictly search for images. So this is a good place to go instead of going to Google Images every time a student needs a picture for a different project or something like that. The next thing that you're going to see here is Lexiles. Now, some schools use Lexiles and some schools read reading levels, some schools use DRAs. They're all different. However, with Common Core, a lot of things are based on Lexile. So we're going to learn a little bit about Lexile and how it compares to reading level and how that can benefit us in searching, but how it can also not benefit us in searching. First of all, a misconception that many of your students will have when they first use Searchasaurus or any other search engine is when you ask them to get 3 sources, they're going to say, "How can I? I only use Searchasaurus." So a lot of them feel like the search engine is their source. So this is something that we need to help them understand, how we came here to help us find information. It's kind of like a car that's taking us somewhere. We need to actually get to our source. But we need to get to our best source, and sometimes the best car can help us get there. Now, like all databases, if you wanted to go ahead and search something, you could just type it right here in the search bar. However, we also have categories here where students can search. So for today's lesson, we're just going to focus on basketball. And more specifically, we're going to work our way to Kevin Durant. So I could start this off in 2 ways. I could type Kevin Durant up here in the search bar. And as you can see, I get kind of a list of different things. The first thing is a cover story, then I get to other things about Kevin Durant. Now, right now I'm clicked on all results. So I'm getting results from magazines, newspapers, different scripts from radio or TV shows. So if I wanted to only get magazines, which may only give me Sports Illustrated and things like that, I could go on magazines. So now if you can notice, I have Sports Illustrated, I have Time, I have Sporting News. So these are the sources, not Searchasaurus. If I click on newspapers, I'm only going to have newspapers. If I click on radio and TV news transcripts, then I'm going to only have those. You can also search for images. So right now, since I clicked, I only have searched for Kevin Durant, I only have pictures of Kevin Durant. However, we're going to learn how to make our search a little more specific so that we can get the information that we truly want. Now, I'm actually wanting some information on Kevin Durant being the MVP. So instead of just typing in Kevin Durant, I'm going to go ahead and click back, and I'm going to type in Kevin Durant and MVP. Anytime that you want both things to show up in your source or in your title, you want to go ahead and type the word "and" in between. So now, as you can see, the MVP articles are now the top 3 on my list. Now, this first one doesn't have MVP in the title, but it is about him being the MVP. So it's in the article. Now, I did have these sources before on my screen when I only searched for Kevin Durant, but as you can see, they definitely moved up. So this got me more specific, because I can see now that the things that are going to be on my last several pages may not be about the MVP, as much so. If you notice up here, it gives my results. So when I typed in Kevin Durant and MVP, I got 501 results. But when I only typed in Kevin Durant, I got over 6,000 results. So if I'm only wanting to learn about Kevin Durant and him being the MVP, then all these other sources, 5,000, 6,000 sources, are not really going to be beneficial for me. So using that word "and" is really going to help us get to more specific results. Okay, we're going to give another example about how to use the word "and." So I'm going to go back to the home page. Again, if I only typed in Kevin Durant, I have over 6,000 results. But I want to learn a little bit about Kevin Durant and his role in the Olympics. So I'm going to type in Kevin Durant and Olympics. Click search. No results were found. Now this is because I misspelled a word. So the first thing you need to do when you find out that there are no results is go back and check your spelling. And I can see here that I misspelled the word "and." Now, Kevin Durant and the Olympics, I have 265 results. So as you can see now, if I only wanted to learn about Kevin Durant and the Olympics, 265 results is a lot less than 6,500. But I even want to go a little more specific, because I feel like some of these things may not be about the Olympics that Kevin Durant was in. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change and add in a number. Kevin Durant and 2012 Olympics, because I already know those were the Olympics he was in. Now I only have 21 results. So if I'm wanting to learn more about Kevin Durant in the 2012 Olympics, this is going to be a lot more helpful to me. Now I only have 3 pages of results, whereas before I had a lot of results and it would have been hard to sift through those. So far we've learned about how to use the word "and" to get more specific results. Now we're going to learn about how to use the word "or." So I'm going to go back to the home page. I'm really wanting to learn about a lot of the different players on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I'm not really sure about some of their names. However, I've already got the information I want to know on Kevin Durant, so I want to find out about other players. So I'm going to type in Oklahoma City Thunder, not Kevin Durant. And I'm going to click search. I have 3,900 results. Let's see how many results I would have had if I only typed in Oklahoma City Thunder. If I only typed in Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm going to have over 6,000 results. So if I only want the results that include things about the Thunder but not Kevin Durant, so hopefully they're talking about another player, that's what I want to do. So using that word "not" helps me get my results down to a smaller number, which hopefully is going to make them more of a quality result. The next one we're going to talk about is "or." Now, "or" lets me search for one topic or the other. So in my results, it could talk about Kevin Durant or Serge Ibaka. Now, some could have both, but this helps me because I just want to learn a lot about Serge Ibaka and Kevin Durant. But if I type in the word "and," then the results have to talk about, each result has to talk about Kevin Durant and Serge Ibaka. But if I do it this way and go ahead and click search, Some of my results are only about Durant, and some of them are only about Ibaka. If I type in and, each result would have to be about both, and so this search result number 5 may not be there. Now, after doing that last search, I realized that I want to learn more about Serge Ibaka. Now, if I want to learn more about Serge Ibaka, like I mentioned, I could just type in Serge Ibaka. And I'm going to have over 900 results. So I'm going to go back. I know I only want Serge Ibaka. So if I put quotation marks around these words have to show up together in this order. So now I'm going to see how many search results I have. 876, so I'm narrowing it down. But again, I only want to know about Serge Ibaka and not Kevin Durant. So I'm going to put Kevin Durant also in quotation marks and put that word not. Now I'm down to 362. So as you can see, my top stories are only about Serge Ibaka. It's not going to be something like specs about a game where it's going to say something about Serge Ibaka and say something about Kevin Durant. It's only going to say things about Ibaka. Now again, I'm under all results. If I only want newspaper articles that are about Serge Ibaka and not Kevin Durant, I could click newspapers and now I have only 141 results. If I click on pictures, I'm going to have pictures of those things. The great things about these pictures is it tells me where they came from. So if I use this picture, I can give credit to where it's due. Now, if you click on dictionary, you're not going to have anything about Serge Ibaka, because Serge Ibaka is not in the dictionary. He's a person. Now, if I click on encyclopedia, I may or may not have something about Serge Ibaka, but I would have to retype in the word. Again, the encyclopedia is a little bit separate from Searchasaurus. So once I type it in, I know that for sure it's not in the encyclopedia. So I'm going to go back to the home page and talk to you a little bit about Lexile. Now, I've been searching so far through all Lexiles, and I've also been searching with full text. I would recommend to always have full text clicked because you don't want to get to an article and then only have 3 sentences. If your class is unfamiliar with Lexiles, this is something that you can share with them. Also on Scholastic.com, they have a conversion chart between Lexiles, grade levels, reading levels, etc. So if I have a class of 2nd and 3rd graders, I can see that this is where their Lexile should be. But if I really want them to stretch so they're ready to go on to the next Lexile, this is where I would look. So a 2nd and 3rd grader should be between 420 and 820. So I'm going to keep that in mind for my next search. So again, a 2nd and 3rd grader was between the 400s and the 800s. However, when I'm searching for Lexile, I really don't have those exact ranges. So I have a pretty high 3rd grader. So I'm going to have them search 650 to 850. And again, I'm going to go back to Kevin Durant. And I only have 15 results. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, that's wonderful because now they only have 15 results to see, and you know that they're in their range. However, I'm going to go back and specifically look for Kevin Durant and MVP. So I've just typed in Kevin Durant and MVP, and as you can see, I only have 4 results, and they're all pictures. So as a 3rd grade student, I may think, well, there's no results on Kevin Durant being the MVP. He must not have been the MVP. But that's because I was only searching in my Lexile. Now if I go back, and I change this to all, and search, I have those original results I saw. Now if you notice something, yes, this would be a lot higher Lexile, but this next result